Let's say you woke up this morning, opened your phone, and there's no internet. Okay, it happens sometimes. You'd think it's probably just the router. But this time it's different. All around the world, on every network, on every device, the internet will not work for exactly 30 days. Not just you, everyone. Not in New York, not in Tokyo, not in London. So my first question is, how serious is this? The answer is somewhere between very serious and the end of civilization, but let's figure out exactly where together. In the first few hours, nobody panics because most people assume it's a temporary outage. I think the same thing. But a few hours later, banks start to go down because almost the entire modern banking system runs over the internet. ATMs go offline. Credit card terminals stop responding. So if you don't have physical cash in your pocket, you can't do your grocery shopping that day. This is exactly the moment when people start thinking, this is serious. What about hospitals? Hospitals can manage for a while on local networks connected to generators, but medication orders, patient records, specialist consultations, the vast majority of these are tied to cloud systems. Within the first 24 hours, critical infrastructure switches to emergency protocols. Paper forms re-enter our lives, and somewhere out there, someone checks whether the fax machine still works, and yes, it does. Now, let's look at the economy, because this part is genuinely fascinating. The value of the global internet economy per day is roughly $10 billion. For 30 days, this stops entirely. Amazon, Google, Netflix, all e-commerce platforms, ad networks, digital media, all of them generate zero revenue. But it's not just these companies. Small businesses, freelancers, restaurants that take online orders too. Think about it this way. When you want to buy something today, you probably research it online first, then buy it. When that research step disappears, people don't know what to do, and spending drops dramatically. What about supply chains? Ships, planes, trucks are still physically there, but the logistics coordination for the vast majority of them runs through digital systems. Which port is waiting for which container, when does which warehouse empty out, which plane is accepting cargo? All of this becomes unclear the moment internet connectivity is cut. By the end of the first week, gaps start appearing on shelves because demand can't be forecast and inventory management is flying blind. Now let's look at people, because this part is both tragic and funny. No social media means that the habit billions of people have of reaching for their phone every morning suddenly has nowhere to go. The first day feels strange, the second day panic sets in, and on the third day, people start talking to each other, face to face, genuinely. Research shows that the average person spends 6 to 7 hours a day in front of screens, and the vast majority of that is consuming internet content. When that time suddenly empties out, people read books, go for walks, call old friends, but on landlines because phone calls run through GSM infrastructure, which is independent of the internet. So voice calls work, text messages work, but WhatsApp doesn't. As for the news, television broadcasting survives largely intact, and so does radio. Newspapers, they can't go to print on the first day because every modern newsroom runs on a digital workflow. But within 2 to 3 days, they adopt, and something we haven't seen in a decade might happen. People pick up the morning paper from the corner stand. What do governments do? Within the first 48 hours, emergency protocols kick in. Defense systems already largely have their own isolated networks, so those keep running. But traffic management in major cities, power distribution systems, remote controls for water treatment facilities, these are the ones that run into serious trouble. Most critical infrastructure is designed in a mode of works without internet, but works much more efficiently with it. So it doesn't collapse entirely, but it lurches forward like an old car. So what happens at the end of 30 days? What does the world look like when the internet comes back? Most likely something like this. The economic loss is measured in trillions. Some companies don't survive the 30 days and shut down. But at the same time, certain things are noticed. People notice they've reconnected with their local corner shop. People notice children are playing outside. People notice how important physical cash is. And perhaps most importantly, people notice that the internet is no longer a luxury. It's the invisible skeletal system of modern life. When you lose it, you see the body trying to stay upright, but you also see how much of a struggle it is. In conclusion, we can say this. The internet going dark for 30 days is a stress test for modern civilization. It can't bring the system down, but it exposes every breaking point, every dependency, every weak link. And perhaps for the first time, these might be the 30 days where instead of staring at screens, we actually look at each other.
Thank you for watching so far. Subscribe for more.